Hey, it's Donny A. So in the last lesson I talked about trying to go more in depth on what you can do with an A chord. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw an overdrive pedal on, and I'm going to grab an A chord, and I'm going to play it with one finger here. And that's pretty much how you got to do this for this technique. But we're just going to play kind of like some overdriven, bluesy, rock type stuff, and really just show you what you can do with the scales that are underneath it. So when you have an A chord here, right, you're basically playing a power chord, but you may be getting the full chord, so you're getting a major chord. But with that really like driven power chord sound, it works great with minor. So what you got to figure out when you're kind of looking around chords is what scales around it. So we know our A minor pentatonics up here on 5 8 5 7 5 7 5 7 5 8 5 8, and that's great to know. We need to know that. But if you know that's your form 1 down here, if you know your form 5 of your pentatonic scale, it's 3 5 3 5 2 5 2 5 3 5 3 5. So our A chord is sitting right inside of that, right? And we're gonna start with this minor sound. So you obviously have this, which is a hard little lick, and it's just walking up that scale that I showed you, that form 5. It's 5 to 2 on the G with a pull off, 5 to 2 on the D with a pull off, 5 to open on the A, and then it's 3 to open on the A. And then there's a lot of cool things you can do with that 3rd fret on the A string. So that's really cool. Another thing, you can add your ring finger down here and on the 3rd fret of the high E string. That turns it into a 7th chord, so that's really good for blues and stuff. You can slide up to your form 1 of the pentatonic here and start adding licks there. And the more double stops you can do, the more it's gonna fit with this. If you're doing double stops down here on your D and G string, just gives it that rock feel. Sounds good. And then also, if you're messing around with this, you can play a lot of major licks too. So your A major pentatonic would be 2 5 2 4 2 4 2 4 2 5 2 5. So you have all that real estate. Then you can add in your 4th on the 3rd fret of the B string. But I'm gonna kick the overdrive off now because overdrive works great for minor. It works good for major too. I don't want to say it doesn't, but a little reverb and maybe some delay can work a lot nicer with that twinkly sound of the major chords. So if you're going to play this, you can basically walk up this scale too. So that's cool. And then if you know your A note, which is obviously the 1 of your chord is on the 2nd fret of the G string. Well, if you just know a little bit about intervals, right? That means you have a 2 after that, so you have 1, 2, 3. So your 3 is then up on your 6th fret, so you can slide up to that, right? And when you slide up to that, you have this A major bar chord right here, and within that is a triad that you can grab, and that's 7, 6, 5 on your D, G, and B string. Ton of stuff you can do once you branch out and get up there. So just mess around with it. There's a ton of stuff you can find in there. Just try and find your scales that are under there. Your major scales right under there. Your major pentatonic obviously is within that major scale. Your minor pentatonics right there. You can slide up and around. And then one of the best practice things I like to do is just take one chord and play around with it. Find the scales underneath it. Play around with them. You know, use those scales to get to other voicings of the chord and stuff like that, and then head back to where I started. And it just helps you learn the fretboard better.